So let's get started. Is there anything particular that you guys are looking to do?
Um, so I don't remember getting very much useful information. At least not that much useful information from the town records, but I know I can look for a person named Thungheim because Nas Lantamir sold their house in Karakhonig to that person named Thungheim.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I could start by asking around town for Thungheim or if anybody knows him.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me an investigation check on that as you ask around.
Can do.
Yeah, so you get rather lucky with that.
Yeah.
The first person you go up to and ask about it is like, "Oh yeah, I know him. It's my neighbor."
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's probably home now if you want to go talk to him.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind getting to chat with him real quick.
Yeah, so he points out where his neighbor's house is on the other end of town, and just don't tell him I sent you there. He might not enjoy them sending more company his way.
Understood. Yeah, I'll make it seem like it's just random chance, son.
Perfect. Thank you.
Indeed.
Um. So, oops. You head over there. Uh, by this point, late morning, early afternoon. And find a pretty ordinary house and seem to see some lights on through the window.
Hmm. I will knock on the door.
A couple minutes later, not minutes, I guess, a couple moments later, you hear someone coming and answering the door. Hey, what is it? What do you want? Who are you?
Um, good morrow, sir. My name is Biltram Macubius Glatz. I was doing some work for town and sorting old records, you see, and I had noticed that the house you now reside in, you acquired some time ago from an individual named Nas Lantamir. Does this ring a bell?
Uh, yeah, I remember that.
Ah, well, I was looking to see if by chance you would happen to know the whereabouts of this individual in this day and time. Uh, I am looking to speak with this individual about some important subject matter, and have been unable thus far to find any details about their whereabouts or how to get hold of them.
Ah, uh, let's see. Where did Nas go to? I think he said he was buying a place over in Lonelywood. Something about being the northernmost house in town. But what do I know? I haven't seen him in a year or two now.
Ah, that is quite some time, yes. Suppose lots of things could have changed by now. But lonely, would you say? Um, that is excellent information, and I will be Well, I will be going there momentarily to see if I can't talk with Nas. And I greatly appreciate your time, and truly good luck that I managed to find you.
I'm glad I could be of help to someone these days. Uh,
Indeed, it's always good to be useful, isn't it?
of course. Cup of tea for the road or anything else I can do for you?
No, I think I am quite all right. Thank you.
Oh, very well.
And I will turn and head on out and start heading back towards the bar where I'm assuming everybody's hanging out at still.
Okay. You make your way back across town to the bar in no time at all. Tora and Wei Fo are there enjoying a nice lunch.
All right. Well, I will fill them in as to what I got figured out about our good friend uh, Nas Lantamir. So Lonelywood. Let's go find the map real quick here. What is ways over there?
Yep.
Where we're at right now. So yeah, I guess I'll let everybody know that's where Nas Lantamir was looking to buy a place, and perhaps we can start making plans to go that way. I know that we've crossed over the Dwarven Valley a time or two now, but I am also okay with going, through the known paths from town to town if we need to. So.
Yeah, given the weather and distances, let's see how long that would be. Mr. Ruler. Let's see.
Hey guys, sorry about that.
No worries.
You're good. I figured out where Nas Lantamir at least was last uh, supposed to be, which is over in Lonelywood to buy a house.
Aha. Are we
We've got
off to there then?
That's what we were just talking about, whether or not we should cross through the Dwarven Valley again or take the known roads all the way around the loop up there.
Well, would there be any particular reason for not taking the Dwarven Valley?
Not that I know of, really. I think we could probably get away with doing that since we've done it a couple times, but supposedly it's a tough trek. So
Yeah, yeah, trekking across the wilderness and stuff is shave about a day off of your trip. Though the roads tend to be marginally safer than the open wilderness. But you guys have been pretty fortunate with the open wilderness so far, so.
Well, then
until today,
as far as Wei Fo is concerned, the wilderness has just been simply pleasant. He doesn't understand why there'd be such concern.
oh, bears and such,
But we haven't seen any.
They must be out here. I know they are.
It might not be the time of year for bears. Have you checked
suppose.
with the locals?
I suppose I haven't, but it's hard to tell the time of year either way, given the conditions.
Yes, it is very pretty and white.
Oh, I suppose we can set off afoot across the tundra. We'll probably be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Would be the shortest, quickest way to get there. That much is true.
Yeah, it'd be about a day and a half of travel. And spread around the north end of the valley and continue westward. Yes, but if that's what you'd like to do, then you guys go ahead and make preparations to depart.
Yeah. Get some more rations.
Yep.
Make sure the sled is up to snuff.
We'll say for rations and supplies, it costs you guys about a gold piece each. To
And I shouldn't have said anything. Should have just
top up on
assumed.
everything.
That makes sense. Pay for repairs on the sled.
Yeah.
But what about repairs on the dogs?
Dogs don't need to be repaired like you, Wayfo. They don't have gears and metal.
Don't you have to fix their hair?
No, they fix their own hair.
Fascinating. Wayfo will randomly pet one of the dogs.
All right. So, you guys figure it's about midday now. Just a quick load up and depart. A day and a half of travel will get you there by the end of the day, the next day. Can I have someone roll a d8 for me?
Gladly. With a big, bold, sexy 7.
All right. And can I get one more as well? All right.
I mean,
Just instantly die.
it's a Tarask at our level. Yes, we would instantly die.
Yeah. Because it popping out of the ground is actually just what kills us. It comes out of the ground right where we're at, and we just die instantly. So
Yeah, it pops out doing 100 D10 damage.
right.
It's like 0 chance of survival.
Yep, it's just game over.
It's like, it rolled all 1s. Uh-huh. And I made my saving throw. Yup.
Yeah.
Fuck! That's still 50 hit points, isn't it? Yup. Damn it!
Game over, bud.
It's game over, man. It's game over.
Game over.
Okay, so as you guys
So
are,
you are in fact dead.
yeah, that's harassed, man. It gets you every time.
It gets you every time.
As you guys are, um, riding along, early the next morning, you notice, the path you're riding along, up ahead, there seems to be 4 Goliaths. They're just walking along the path, a single file stride.
Or what?
Goliath?
The 4 Utes. I'm sorry.
Youths.
Did you just say the Utes? Yeah, the 4 Utes. Oh, I'm sorry. The Utes. I have no idea what these are.
It seems these are some frost-dwelling half-giants.
Oh, whoa. And they look pretty awesome. They look like giant versions of Vikings.
Yeah, Goliaths are cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure what these fellows would be doing out here, but I'm sure it's something completely normal. Probably hunting, right?
Wayfo will recommend that we simply just slow down as we pass them and give them proper greeting. As all intelligent species desire.
I concur with this plan. See if they need anything, maybe?
Okay.
Okay, so you guys slow down as you approach them. They give you a wave as you reach up to them. Greetings, travelers.
Greetings to you as well.
Good morrow.
How fare you today?
Well, rather well. This is a lovely day. The weather is relatively calm. I can't complain.
Indeed, it is beautiful here.
You all seem like a sprightly group of small folk. Any interest in perhaps a bit of a game?
Ooh,
What kind of game?
do we have time for a game, Biltram?
I can't see why not.
Wait, what kind of game?
Just something simple, something probably athletic. We typically do things like play tug of war, see who can do the longest handstand, see who's the best at pulling shrubs or rolling a boulder, that sort of thing.
These definitely sound like good challenges.
Does the winner get anything?
Tora, the mercenary monk. Is there money involved? No, piss off.
I don't care.
If we can put something on it. If we win, shall we say you, as we're going the same direction, it seems. If we win, you guys haul our gear for a day. If you win, yeah, well, hauling your gear won't do much as you've got a sled. I'll toss a couple coins your way.
Toss a coin for your witcher.
I can get with that. Alright,
I
what
can
are we
get
doing first?
Well, just what sort of game sounds good to you?
Oh,
Mm,
perhaps one of balance and meditation, like we used to do at the monastery.
I was
So
thinking something more competitive
ah,
that involves strength or something.
handstanding can be rather competitive, and it's requires your strength as much as anything else we do.
Okay, let's do that.
I'm confused though.
How is it
I
that you're confused?
I do not see any poles for us to do a handstand on.
Holes.
Doing it on the ground, anybody can.
But have you done one for as long as you can in the cold snow?
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't. That sounds like fun.
Very
For the
well.
record, I will participate, but any challenges involving strength or dexterity, I probably will not place coin on.
Your side has not placed any coin, merely an offer to carry our gear for a day. Need be.
It,
Yeah, and
indeed.
Weifo's
Right.
already in pose. Like while they're discussing all this,
Jesus.
he's like, "This is fun."
And by place coin, I meant it only as a figure of speech. I don't wish to lose and make a fool of myself.
What is this figure of speech you talk about?
I'll leave the carrying of gear up to the other two who are competing.
Oh, a figure of speech is a common humanoid idiom. They basically say something that doesn't quite literally mean what they're saying. It's a figurative comment, like saying that one could eat a person out of house and home. They most likely could not do so, but it just means that they simply eat a lot. And he's doing all this while still in the handstand.
All right, so as Wayfo gets a head start there, everyone else prepares to do so. And basically, how it'll work is, everyone will, make a series of athletics checks to hold the handstand. Roll below a 10, and you're out. And once a team has lost 3 of their 4 people, they lose.
Fair enough.
I mean, I got a roll now.
Yep. Go
Yo.
ahead. Give me a roll.
We might let him like balance up against one of the dogs or something.
All right,
Not a bad
let's
idea.
see.
So acrobatics first, right?
Just athletics. Wayfo's
Oh.
just showing off with the acrobatics.
Gotcha. Oh shit.
So Biltram lasts only a couple moments before falling over. I'll roll for Tora. Tora also falls over just as quickly. You rolled a 1 there, unfortunately.
Colin.
Dalar does manage to keep himself up.
It's because he's propped up right now. It's like Weekend at Bernie's.
It's been a day. He's mostly not hungover. One of the Goliath warriors also loses his balance and falls over. It's 3-2. Give me, I guess it'll be Dalar and Wayfo. Give me another athletics check.
Can I use the acrobatics for my dex focus for balance?
Sure, I'll allow that. And with that, Dalar falls over. So unless...
Dalar?
At this point, Wayfo is still standing, but so are two of theirs. They shout over to you, Wayfo. You're still going strong? Shall we keep going?
Of course!
Alright, give me another round. Everyone's still in it that round. Let's keep
This
going.
is very challenging. Wayfo's like going to be complimenting them on their incredible strength and fortitude.
One of them finally loses it and falls into the snow. It is now 1-on-1. Both are still in it, just barely. Another round.
Oh no!
Oh!
Wayfo finally collapses.
Oh no.
With that, the last Goliath warrior sets himself back upright, helps Wayfo up out of the snow. It was a most
Thank you.
admirable attempt.
My thanks. You are all a very highly skilled group of individuals.
You have to be to live out here as we do.
That absolutely makes sense. Do you know these lands well?
We know them quite well, yes.
And Wayfo's going to look over at Biltram. Perhaps they may be able to get information for you that you may not be able to find elsewhere.
Perhaps they might, yes, indeed. Where is it that you all call home?
We are part of the Thunla Kalaga clan. Part of the Wormdom Crag. Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Something that I can write down easily. I see. Well, so I suppose that you might be more part of a nomadic tribe that roams the region, should I assume?
Not so much nomadic, but I've often having to travel far from home
I see.
to get specific supplies or meet with specific people.
Well, and while they're talking, Wayfo is going to go over and heft up about 100 pounds worth of their gear to shoulder that.
Most gracious of you. It's
Of
rather
course.
heavy carrying that for 100 miles.
A deal is a deal.
Are we allowed to use the sled for it?
Being that I imagine you would struggle to carry our gear, we see no opposition to this. A day off of our shoulders is a day off of our shoulders, regardless of where it sits.
Excellent. So, what is it that has you heading out west here? Are you stopping at Tourmaline or Lonelywood?
We are actually on our way further west than that. Over to the Sea of Moving Ice.
Ah, I see. What draws your business there?
We've heard some rumors of trouble that way.
Ah, what sort of trouble, might I ask?
Let's see.
Polar bears! I knew it! I knew they were out here!
Undead polar bears.
Oh god. Oh no.
Something about a Tarrasque?
That's why the ice is moving, is it?
Let's see. So, what we are in the process of investigating, we've been working under the idea that this everlasting rhyme perhaps isn't the Frostmaiden's doing, as many suspect. We think it might actually have to do with the Arcane Brotherhood, plotting another takeover of 10 towns.
Truly.
Has this happened before?
It wouldn't be the first time they've tried. This would be the most, what's the word that we look for?
Aggressive means?
Yeah, most aggressive and long-term plan that they've had. There's a wizard who was burned at the stake in East Haven recently. He admitted to being one of them and said there are other Arcane Brotherhood wizards lurking among us. We suspect someone by the name of Valish Gant is behind it all, no doubt. The scoundrel is locked away in a place called Revel's End, but that doesn't make him any less dangerous. We're hoping to find out.
We are actually looking into this as well.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, it is something of great concern, and we are attempting to find out what the cause is. And perhaps stop the towns from barbarically trying to sacrifice people to a goddess who does not care about them one whit.
Well, that sounds most noble of cause.
Indeed. It has been of great concern, and truly we've been having quite the difficult time finding anyone with, well, information as to who the players are, even in this game. For instance, I know almost nothing about who the Frostmaiden is, to begin with. I just know that some people have been placing her name at the head of blame for the blight upon the land.
Auril is a demigod who has taken up residence within the frozen norths up here. One of the reasons many do suspect her is it's not easy to, I should say, not hard to see why she would have sufficient power to put on such a permanent rhyme on the lands. We don't agree with their conclusions, obviously.
Yes, indeed. Would Auril not take issue with the Arcane Brotherhood possibly being in a plot to capture the 10 towns?
Well, she could be. She might not like it.
But ultimately, isn't her goal to see the world blanketed in snow? I would imagine she would see the wizards as nothing more than tools to
An
further an
instrument for the
agenda.
goal. Yes.
It is certainly a possibility.
Hmm.
At this point, Dalar speaks up. I like the idea of these wizards doing something. We should look into that. Enough of chasing around this madness of the Frostmaiden. Let's look at a different rabbit trail. Let's see what pops up.
I would concur because it would seem that that's the most tangible trail of individuals to track, and perhaps they are indeed just a tool of moral, in which case we would find our answer ever more clear that way. But I would say that it seems to be the most tangible choice.
I not only agree, I feel that we are in the best of company. Perhaps we can all travel together there.
I'm gonna just turn and look at the Goliaths and raise my eyebrows.
They would not mind additional company on our trip out there.
Would by any chance the name Nas Lantamir mean anything to you?
The name does not sound familiar.
Very well. Just a curiosity.
And during the trip that we're all going together, Waypo is going to, in an almost childlike fashion, ask one of them if they've ever seen a drow before.
We have seen drow before, yes.
Have you seen them walking among others up here?
They are rare, traveling up on the surface, but especially this far north, but they do appear occasionally.
I've heard of one that is supposed to have taken upon himself the mantle of a ranger.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. It would be quite nice to meet him sometime.
Who is it that you're looking for?
His name is Driz. He's of the House Duorden.
We do recognize that name, yes. We have not met him personally, though we have heard these stories of him. Told
As have I.
sometimes by those who have met him.
I'm fairly certain he would beat all of you at the handstand.
If half the stories that we hear are true, he would beat us all by a day.
Indeed.
And throughout the extent of your conversation, you guys eventually arrive at Lonelywood. It's one of the smaller towns of 10 towns. It's home to about 100 people at any given time.
Token! Ah!
That means we don't exist anymore. My curiosity now is as to whether or not us helping out our fellow that we turned into a real boy is a bad idea. I'm wondering if these mages or wizards that he's wanting us to kill are not actually like, I guess, bad guys. Because isn't it the wizard that got burned at the stake in Bryn Shander or wherever it was?
Eastwood,
Uh,
yeah.
Eastwood, yeah. He's the guy that had the location of the pyre, and we just got lucky enough to meet somebody who also knew where it was. So, and they mentioned that guy who got burned at the stake is possibly, well, not possibly, is or was a part of the Arcane Brotherhood, and said that there was more of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know if we should, because he wanted us. I mean, I'm just recalling here. He wanted us to kill these other mages, correct? Am I remembering this correctly?
He may have not explicitly said kill, but deal with in ways that they won't be problems anymore, at least.
Hmm. Interesting. What do you make of this Wayfo / Tora? Of course, I don't even remember if Tora was technically. She was in that mission with us. She was there. She just stood in the back. I remember
Yeah, I don't know.
that.
What do you think, Tora? Give us some input.
Um, wait for you go first. You gotta think.
Wayfo's thought is that basically these Goliaths live in this land and have intimate knowledge of it.
So we should just ask them what they know of the spire. Then that's a good idea.
Yeah, not only that, but I mean, they would have a better understanding of any intricacies or interplays going on between the different groups and factions.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't help that they don't know who Nas Lantamir is, but I suppose if we invited them along with us to go talk to that person, maybe they could give some more information. But I guess first we got to find him anyway. Either way, I'm gonna ask the um, Goliaths what they know about the spire of Netheril.
Yeah, so they've never been inside of it. They know that it's a relatively recent addition to Icewind Dale, having appeared only a year or two ago.
Hmm. Interesting. Do they know where it came from, by chance, or if anybody uses it?
That they do not know. The extent of their knowledge on it is basically, you know, they passed
It
by
got
that
there
way,
by
several times and nothing was there. And then one day a group of them was passing by that section of the wilderness and, hey, there's this tower stuck in the ground that wasn't here before.
Hmm. Damn. I would also like to ask them what else they know about what was his name? Valish Gant, locked away in Rebel's End. Is that correct?
Yeah. Let's
Just
see.
want to see if they know who he is and why he's locked away.
Let's see. They don't know a ton about um uh Vaelish Gant himself, only that he has some association with the Arcane Brotherhood. They do know a little bit about Revel's End. Um, it's a prison that's controlled by the Lord's Alliance, which is a least confederation of settlements, most of them south of Icewind Dale. Notable members include Baldur's Gate, Waterdeep, Neverwinter. They know that is used particularly for either dangerous or prisoners that have political connections that may make incarceration elsewhere a tricky business.
Oh,
You know, if you need someone to be locked away somewhere that's completely neutral politically,
right.
and this is the place to send him.
Gotcha. Most interesting. Alright. Well, it gives me a decent bit of lore to work with, it looks like. Shall we then, I suppose, press on into the town and see if we can at least find out if Naslantamir is still here?
Let's go.
I'm down. Especially if I can see what's going on.
This is actually just Lonelywood. It's just a pitch black hole in the ground. Welcome.
I mean, it sounds like the place I grew up.
Let's see. Is there a way that I can... There we go. That's what I want to uncheck. Now you should maybe be able to see.
Yep.
I sure can.
Perfect.
Nice little, no longer fishing village, nestled into the tree line.
Yep.
I'm assuming the water here is also frozen.
Pretty much. There's maybe little patches where they've broken away at the ice, but nothing stays unfrozen without work.
Right.
So,
Oh,
yeah, where'd you like to head?
suppose we can head down the main street and head towards the speaker's house, or to the nearest tavern, I suppose, whichever y'all.
Ramshackle sounds friendly and welcoming. We should go there. Sorry, I'm not playing Dalar.
Yeah. I'd say it's an easy answer what they are. So
Let's see. Well, if you're wanting a tavern, the Lucky Liar is going to be your go-to place in town. The Ramshackle is actually a inn that has been closed. It's been closed for a couple years now, actually.
Probably somebody set it on fire.
Nope, no fire there, but
Either that or they just suck at their jobs.
I mean, if there wasn't a fire there, they're just not trying hard enough. We should help them.
Right. There you go. I've got burning hands. We can make this work. And firebolt.
There you go. Now you're thinking like a pyromaniac who should not be in charge of children or video games.
Yeah. All right. I guess to the lucky wire it is. What time of day is it?
It is evening at this point.
Obviously, it's bureau clock.
Yeah, it's always beer o'clock. Do our Goliath friends wish to join us?
They say that they'll join you at least for a brief drink.
Oh yeah, question. Has my first attempt at a special finished fermenting by chance?
Do you remember when you started fermenting that?
When Weifo first started the Drunken Master path.
Let's see.
So I think that was level 3.
Yeah, let me...
So when he first hit level 3. I think that's been a little bit more than a hot minute.
In-game time, that's been about 8 days.
Oh, so definitely not long enough.
Yeah, it probably went a little bit longer on that. But you guys step into a tavern. A lot less lively than the hook, line, and sinker, but it's still plentiful.
Well, if we can find a place to sit, I will get a tea.
All right.
Dwarven
They have
spirits.
any.
Yeah, fortunately, this one does have some tea. Server grabs some dwarven spirits for Weifo and Tora. What you ordering?
Dwarven spirits, dwarven spirits, dwarven spirits, dwarven spirit.
Tora orders shots.
I would, yeah. I'll just have an ale.
All right. Good old standard ale. The Goliath and we'll say Dalar order ales as well. And server comes back with a tray full of drinks and hands them out.
Well, I'm not quite sure if Nas Lantermere would be the type of person to spend their evenings in the bar, but I suppose it might not hurt to ask around, see if anybody knows of the person. If they are indeed a well-renowned caster, then perhaps they are someone who provides service to the townsfolk, and maybe they know him. So I'll make some short rounds and see if I can't stir anything up.
Okay.
Just talk to people.
Weifo will keep pace with Dalar's ale drinking with his dwarven spirits.
Biltram, you do talk to a couple of people who are familiar with Nas. Most of them say he keeps himself for the most part.
Hmm.
But he does live in town, and as far as I know, he's back at his house.
Huh. You wouldn't happen to know the whereabouts in the town where Nas resides, would you?
Yeah, north end of town. Last
Very
house
well.
before the wilderness, can't miss it.
Very well. I'll have to pay him a visit on the morrow. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go back to the table and um, if the Goliaths are still around, if they haven't left, I'll just ask them where they're planning on shacking up for the night. If they've already dipped out, then oh well, we will go somewhere else.
They say they all brought tents. They'll sit up in the trees to cut down the wind and just camp out for the evening. That's what they're
Makes
used to
sense.
when they're traveling, and it's cheap.
Yep. Saves being worried about getting into town too much too. So I guess that's good. Does the Lucky Liar have rooms at all, or are we gonna have to go search somewhere else for that?
The Lucky Liar is just a tavern, food and drink sort of thing.
Gotcha.
However, the barkeep does point you over towards the speaker's house, which is, where she says that most visitors in town tend to stay. Says that he's got an attic up there people can stay in.
Very well. Thank you for the information.
Okay, I'm going AFK after this. Waytho prefers to go hang with the Goliath.
Okay.
I will then, and it's up to Tora, whatever she wants to do, but I will join them to wherever they set up their campsite. But I'm going to continue on to the speaker's house for the night
All right.
because Biltram don't sleep out in the woods, homie.
Yeah, so Wayfo and the Goliath basically set up camp right behind the speaker's house. I think Dalar probably joins them too.
Yeah, I'll be
le-
with them too. I don't care.
So it's just me going on to the speaker's house.
Tora, do you have any?
Do you not want to go alone?
No, that's okay. I'm just curious, so I know if I need to cast anything before I head out here. Okay.
Tora, do you have anything that's gonna keep you warm overnight? I'm just curious.
I don't know. Probably not. Should probably go with you actually.
And yeah, you'll probably want to go inside, or you'll want to go to the Happy Scrimshander in town, to the general store, and buy like a tent.
I'll just go with Biltram.
Okay.
Yay!
So Biltram and Tora go to the speaker's house. Yeah. Nice big house. Nice, rather ornate door in the front of it with a nice big knocker on it, waiting to be used by whoever dares to do so.
Right, I'm on it. I can use the knocker.
All right.
Make a dex save.
Couple moments later, the door is opened by a halfling.
Do not play with the halfling's knocker.
Well, greetings. It's
Uh,
nice to finally see someone of a similar height these days.
Indeed it is. Nimsy's the name. What can I do for you fine folk this evening?
MC, what a pleasure. Um, we are happening by to see if you wouldn't have any empty rooms we could use for the night.
Attic's always open for whoever needs it. It's heated up there, rather cozy. No beds, but if you've got a bedroll or something, it should be sufficient for a night or two.
Indeed, yes, that would be perfect. I'm not sure how many nights we'll be in town, but I would assume probably not more than two. If we could use it for the night, that would be perfect. And if there are any fees involved therein, we're happy to pay up front.
Of course. I typically charge a silver piece per person, just to cover the cost of the fuel to keep the warm up there. Though if you can't afford to pay, we can work out other means.
Completely understandable. One silver coming right up.
Alright. Tora, will you be doing the same?
Yeah, I'm sure I have money.
Yes, you have plenty.
Okay.
I'd say, didn't she have way more than the rest of us?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have the equivalent of like 9,000 silver.
Oh. I guess I can give one.
Yeah. Part with just one, but just the one, guys.
So she takes your money, slips it into a pocket, and points you to the stairway behind her, leads up to the attic.
Right. Thank you again, and Nimsy it was, correct?
Yes, Nimsy.
Oh, bid you a fair evening, and we shall see you in the morrow. Nimsy,
Have
good
a
evening.
wonderful evening. Help yourself to any of the cookies that are upstairs. I think there are still a few left.
Ah, cookies. Pleasurable. Thank you. And I will take a cookie when I get upstairs.
Yeah, so you guys get upstairs, find a nice large open attic, a couple of other people in there, most of them laying down or already asleep. And there is a plate with a couple of halfling-shaped cookies on it still.
Sick! Yes!
So, you guys settle in for the night, and unless there's something else you're wanting to do for the night, we'll fast forward to the next morning.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Alright. So, morning comes. It's snowing a little bit, perhaps a moderate amount today, but otherwise nothing too unusual weather-wise. And you wake up, and those of you sleeping in the attic reconvene with those who slept in the woods, who have already packed up and are ready for what comes next.
Ready. I guess we're gonna head a little bit further north there to the next side of town. And go, I believe it's that house right up there is where Mass is supposed to be at.
Now that is where everyone keeps directing you to. So you guys approach the house. It seems to be in rather nice condition, more so than most other houses around here. The snow on its leading up to the house undisturbed since the last snowfall.
Go kick on that door a little bit and see what we get.
All right. You give the door a good knock, and you hear from the other side of the door, "I'm coming, I'm coming." And a moment later, it's opened by a human female, and wasn't expecting visitors, which is odd. Is there something I can help you with?
Perhaps we were actually looking for an individual by the name of Nas Lantamir. Wouldn't happen to know that person, would you?
Look no further. That is me.
Um. Well, we were told that you were quite the diviner. Is this true?
Always has been.
Ah. Um.
Are you in need of my services, perhaps?
Well, I'm not entirely sure yet. Maybe, but to be honest, I have questions. That's all I really have is some questions, and hopefully they'll be easy for you to answer.
Well, I'll answer them the best I can.
Well, what would you happen to know about uh, the spire of Nethalir?
Oh yes, that old thing. It belongs to an acquaintance of mine who uh, failed in a teleportation of it a couple years ago. Just ended up appearing upside down. I think
Would you
he was a
mind
fool
if-
to attempt doing so, but who am I to say?
Well, if you are willing to talk, would you mind if we joined you inside? Do you have a drawing room where we might be able to sit down and speak?
Ah, yes, of course. Come in, come in. The Goliaths say that they're going to wait outside, but the party of you guys steps inside. And she leads you to a library in the back filled with some cushiony chairs. She lights up a pipe.
Hmm. So I suppose I would have ponderance as to why you know someone who wished to teleport an entire tower.
We wizards tend to associate with other wizards. He just happened to be one that I knew. I'll be honest, I didn't know him real well until he had teleported his tower out here.
Was there a reason for his desire to teleport the tower?
It's relocation, same as you or I might move homes. He wanted his tower to be somewhere else, and well, the relocation wasn't quite as successful as he had hoped.
What by chance was man's name?
That was teleporting it?
Yes.
Oh, what was it? Dazan? It's been a while since I've seen him.
How interesting. Is there any reason at all why Zan might have interest in seeking you out?
Oh, I could probably think of 100 reasons why he might not like having me around. He is the sort of fellow to be difficult to get along with, even if with other wizards.
When you last saw him, was his interest in you for help with the issue with the tower, or What were the what was the happenstance between your last meeting?
He never much asked me about the towers. I think a part of him was scared to try it again after the first one going as badly as it did. On the brink of something much worse happening. I don't think he wanted to risk it again. But we were acquaintances at best. Occasionally we would communicate about bounce ideas off of each other, or maybe not so much that. Keep up with what's going on. Occasionally he would have needs of my services. He never was much of a diviner himself. I guess more than anything, that's why he would come to me. Always seemed reluctant to do so. Never said why.
But you suspect that his reluctance was out of lack of skill, perhaps?
I certainly wouldn't be surprised if it was.
Interesting. So, how is it that you spend your days now, here in Lonelywood?
Well, much like you see them now, I spend most of my time in this room right here in my library studying. Much to keep up on, much to learn still. I've spent some time, studying, practicing, improving my skills. Using them where it benefits around the, 10 towns.
And do you have many friends and connections here in Lonelywood, or around the 10 towns for that instance?
I maintain close friendships with a handful of people and acquaintances with a handful more.
What happens to be your opinion on the condition of 10 towns? You believe all of this is just the work of the Frostmaiden?
I wouldn't... How should I put it? The Frostmaiden certainly does cause some problems for 10 towns, but she is not the only threat that looms.
But, what do you foresee as being other threats to the 10 towns?
Give me a persuasion check with that.
It almost landed on the 20, I'm telling you. Someone hit the table, goddammit.
She seems almost lost in thought for a moment before she said, well, the usual stuff, monsters, weather, what have you. Nothing new.
Is there anything in particular about the 10 towns? Because you see, we are, I at least am a foreigner. I know very little about the 10 towns. Is there anything other than authority or influence that any such group might want to control or have sway over the 10 towns? Is there some sort of power to be drawn from the land or resource?
The resources are rather slim up here, as I'm sure you've seen.
That is the impression I've got.
The only export of any significance that Ten Towns has to offer is there's a little bit of whale oil that gets exported, at least when the fishermen get any luck with that.
See.
But there's a surprising amount of power that could be had to one who does have control over 10 towns.
Wow.
While there are many people who have grown up and spent their whole lives here, it's also the home of many who, for good reasons or bad, get kicked out of communities further down south. This tends to be a last chance sort of place.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I apologize for the strange intrusion. We were just told that you would be an interesting character to talk to. If I'm being completely honest, we were actually sent here to see you by Dazan himself.
Is that so? Why would he do that?
Well, to be quite honest, I'm not entirely sure. He seemed to think that, you would be better off, with you in some sort of position of, I guess, confinement.
He probably would say that, wouldn't he? He refused my prices on a couple of his requests for my services. I don't think that made him all too happy.
Ah. Yes, he does seem to be, well, I guess particular about how things should be done.
It probably doesn't help that I then performed the magic out of spite for him and kept the knowledge I gained to myself. But it is what it is.
Bygones and such.
Exactly.
Well, I'm not sure that things need to be taken much further. I can't personally see the reasoning behind why he seemed so intent upon having us track you down. But I don't know. Perhaps my compatriots feel different.
I feel that perhaps it was a wild goose chase.
Tara, any input?
Sorry. I feel the same way. I don't really know why we were sent here.
Well, I suppose that we will be getting on our way. We were just about to set off a little further north. might be a bit of a journey.
Of course.
And perhaps while we're here, I might ask if you happen to know anything in particular about Revel's End.
So, not a whole lot other than it's a prison for the worst of the worst, either physically, politically, mentally, what have you.
Very well. We will be probably making a stop there on our next journey. So, again, being an out-of-towner, it's best to try and gain any kind of information you can from the locals.
Of course. Well, you're always welcome to stop back by here. I keep my house meticulously clean so that I can have guests over at any time.
Excellent. Well, a very, very warm invite indeed. And I'm sure that should we find ourselves in the Lonelywood soon, we will seek you out.
Of course.
We'll kind of get up and gesture towards the door to Wayfo and Tora, shall we?
Yeah.
Of course.
Alright, and she sees you guys out, and you're now back outside with the Goliath once again.
Will refer to the group when saying, well, that seemed like a pleasant lady. To imagine why you would need to cause her any ill doing, can you?
Don't know. No.
There's nothing that I can think of. She didn't seem to be hiding anything that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Yes, I suppose perhaps he wanted us to get a one-up on an old rival, as you know, it seems that she is withholding some kind of information that she gained to his fault some time ago. That's the most I got out of that conversation, is why there would be ill will.
Or perhaps he just felt that we were more hot-headed than what we are, and that we would perhaps become aggressive to her, and cause her embarrassment.
Maybe so. Maybe so. We did make quite the work of those bugbears on the way out. So maybe he thought that we're a more brazen bunch than we actually are. That does make some sense. Hey, Dalar, what do you think, man? Oh, I don't know.
I think it's time for us to get drunk.
Yeah, let's go back to the bar, guys. We can talk about it some more there.
Perhaps we could do some more of this headstanding while we're drinking.
All right, you violent alcoholic. Jesus. This guy. Well, I guess we'll rejoin the Goliaths and start heading up north. I suppose I could have asked Nass about some of the other mages, but I kind of get the feeling that maybe she doesn't know them, since she hardly knew Dazan anyway.
I kind of have a feeling that she's probably one of the nicest ones of the mages, and just doesn't really speak ill of them. but they probably have so much rivalry that
Oh,
you're
yeah.
never going to get a straight answer, that they're all going to be despicable in one way or the other.
Right. Definitely could be. Definitely could be, or it could be that Dazan is the one biggest douche of them all, maybe.
I mean, it depends on if you're going by weight or by volume.
Right. By sheer force alone.
Exactly.
Well, either way, suppose we must press on. Then I'll ask the Goliaths: is the first stop on the journey at uh, Revel's End, or just somewhere along the Sea of Moving Ice?
There's not much between here and Revel's End. Open wilderness. It'd be about 2 days travel.
Did you say
All
2 days
then.
travel?
Yeah, 2 days.
Dalar needs to
Sure.
get his drink on now as fast as he can.
You just got to go buy some sacks of liquor to
Yeah.
take.
He bought
Yeah, I
plenty for the
mean-
road.
I'm
Okay,
just
good.
assuming that he's going to come back with another additional point of exhaustion.
Well, whenever they're ready to get going, I guess if we've got enough provisions, we can evaluate if we have enough provisions for the journey and then get going.
Guys, I hate to say this, but can I bow out? I've just now yawned for like the 5th time in a row, and my eyes keep closing on me. I am exhausted.
Yeah, you're good. I was gonna suggest that we.
I would say this
Yeah.
is a reasonable spot to end it for the night.
Right.
That's perfect, because I fear I may not actually remember everything that happened tonight. There may or may not have been a couple of moments where I actually fell asleep.